Do you recommend doing that?
Yeah, but first I say recommend getting the form down. Working with your own body weight first. Try to get some more reps in with your body. At least go try to get to 10 reps with your own body weight.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Bros Think Big podcast. This is the show where we talk about the simple and yet complicated ideas of self-improvement. Tune in and join us as we become the best versions of ourselves so you guys can too. Alright, like and subscribe for more. If you have any topics you want us to discover or talk about, let us know in the comments, alright? Today we have our friend Georgie returning to us. It's nice to see you again.
Hello, everyone.
Georgie's always here.
Hello.
Of course,
Right.
Georgie's
Right,
always here.
Of course.
Now we have our new guest. What's his name?
Andreas.
Andreas,
Yeah.
yes, that's Andreas, yes.
Uh-huh.
The big guy, yeah.
Yeah, the big guy.
And today we're going to be talking about compound lifts. I want to start us off by asking, what are all of the compound lifts actually?
Yeah, I was just informed. I had a big misunderstanding.
Do you want to go over them?
Yeah, so
There's actually a lot of compound lists besides just deadlift, squat, and bench that are the top three that almost everyone knows. Dips are a compound lift because compound lifts is defined by hitting multiple muscles simultaneously. You know, you got cleans, you also got pull-ups. Let's see what else. There's multiple others like rows,
basically any exercise that hits multiple muscle groups at the same time is considered a compound lift as well.
So how come bench, deadlift, and squat are the main ones that everyone thinks about or comes to mind when they hear compound lifts?
Because they're they're the most popular ones for strength.
Yeah.
They're in almost every powerlifting competitions. Even they're mostly in all bodybuilding schedules as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're probably the most famous ones out of all of them.
Yeah. So
Do you know why that is? Why, on a competition, why is it bench, squat, deadlift?
Actually, probably because
Probably the three.
Is that what
most
measures the
opposite.
strength?
Well, I would say you have one that's legs, you have one that's, of course, deadlift is more than just back, but one covering your front body and one covering back. I get it.
Is it mostly for strength? Is that why?
Yeah, I mean, you can do it for strength, you can do this for athleticism, you can basically do it for kind of any other reason, for endurance too. Those are the top three exercises that kind of hit your whole body.
Endurance, really?
Yeah.
How is that?
Well, the thing is, if you train for more reps, you can also train endurance too. You can train muscle endurance as well, not just strength.
So what kind of compound lifts would you recommend doing?
Well, I think, of course, the same ones like squat, bench, and deadlift, because you can build good strength, mobility, and also, mass too as well. You can build muscle mass throughout this three. You're going to hit everything. Your chest, you hit your chest, of course. Your shoulders, your triceps, even your back too, a little bit.
Yeah.
In your squat, you're hitting your core, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes. And deadlift too, you're hitting your whole back, your traps, your rear delts, your lats, your lower back, your glutes, your hamstring, even a little bit of your quads and core too when it comes to it. So you're basically hitting everything.
Yeah, I think deadlift is one of those workouts that you actually hit so many muscle groups, if not everything.
Yeah, no. Yep.
So what about you? The audience is watching right now. They see how big of a guy you are. What kind of compound lifts do you personally incorporate?
Before we were just doing this before the podcast, can you just show him your arm?
It could be bigger than his head, guys.
Yeah. Guys, so come on.
Mine. But like I was saying, what about you? What kind of compound lifts do you incorporate?
Well, I usually incorporate, of course, the squat, bench, deadlift, and to hit it my arms and everything, I mostly do dips and also chin-ups too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a new thing going on right now because a lot of times chin-ups, a lot of pulling movements, especially with back movements, actually hit more of your bicep than a lot of isolated movements like bicep curls, dumbbell curls, preacher curls. Basically a lot of the pulling movements in the back exercise actually hit your biceps some more. Because if you look at gymnasts, you see their arms and they're huge.
Yeah.
And do you know how that is?
They do a lot of chin-ups.
I would imagine just by isolating your
Well, think about it. I weigh about 205 right now, 205 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to do a chin-up, guess how much my biceps are holding? My entire body weight.
Right.
So if I'm doing a chin-up, that's 205 pounds that my biceps are doing. And that's a lot besides just doing a regular 45.
You're not going to put 200
Yeah.
something with a curl, too.
What he meant is, of course, the chin-ups make sense, but the pulls, why is that
like I said before, like any type of pulling movement, guess what's activating
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is the bicep. A lot of the pull
Of
movements
course,
activate the
it's
bicep.
activated, but why more than isolating it?
He said the weight. So
Yeah,
if you
because
hold
the
the
weight and
dumbbell, you're not
everything.
gonna hold
The weight,
200
yeah.
something. So your weight.
Because
and
let's say
curl.
I'm doing like 225 with a rows.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing, guess where all that weight's going?
Yeah.
To my
Very
biceps and
Very
everything.
true.
Yeah.
So that's why.
So the moral of the story: do some pull-ups and chin dips.
Yeah.
guys.
Listen to
yeah.
gymnasts.
Yeah.
Gymnasts know
I
stuff like that.
personally
Have you seen their
think, like,
biceps?
Pull-ups is
Insane.
something everyone should have to do, whether they're assisted or not. Like I think pull-ups is like a staple,
Oh yeah.
especially when it comes to a finisher. I don't even know if it's a good
Oh,
idea to have it as a
yeah.
finisher or whether like a beginner. I don't know. I don't care. I just love to have him in there somewhere.
Even if you can't really do like chin-ups or pull-ups, you could do like lat pull-downs. You could basically do chin-ups like with the
Yeah.
machines and everything
Yeah.
like that. You can then do assisted ones, like with you could do either. There's machines that they have, whereas like
You can adjust the weight and then it
adjust the
kind of brings
weight.
you up and
Yeah,
down.
because
by itself.
you could do that. You could do it with a resistance band.
Yeah.
So you can put it on
Oh,
your
yeah.
feet and then help it. You know, once
Yeah.
you start getting stronger, once your
Put your
form
feet
starts
through the
improving,
resistance band. And,
yeah, you can start either going down the resistance bands or trying by yourself. You know,
Yeah.
you could do that as well. And then once you you progress, where even like your body weight's not good enough, you can also put on the weight too. You could do like wear a dip belt and then put on like
Oh, yeah.
45, 25 pounds, and you could do that for multiple reps as well.
Do
That's
you
how-
recommend doing that?
Yeah, but first I say recommend getting the form down, working with your own body weight first. Try to get some more reps in with your body. At least go try to get to 10 reps with your own body weight. And then once you find that, and once you improved on your technique, and once it starts really getting easy, then I say you can start adding a little bit of weight. You can do a weighted vest. Like I said, you could do dips. You could do a dip belt and grab some weights and hold it. You could do that to progress it
Yeah.
more.
Dude, you know what I feel sometimes when I do dips? Especially if I bring my hands close and it's already when I do a couple of other sets of chest workout and stuff, I feel one of my nerves just fucking shutting down sometimes when I go down. I don't know what it is.
That can't be safe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking.
That can't be good for you, man.
I don't know, I feel something very weird.
And your
Especially
wrist and
one.
everything?
No, it's usually one hand. It's somewhere here. By just bringing it close and
That's
putting
not
tension on
optimal.
there. I don't know. Happens sometimes, not always.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Hitting the nerves, not optimal.
Yeah.
What about I personally I haven't even done a compound lift in a long ass time. I'm not gonna lie, and that's mainly because I focus on the whole aesthetic look. Like instead of doing bench, I do dumbbell press now, and for a lot of weight too. But is that even is that a good idea at that point?
No.
I know a lot of people say it's a staple to do bench, but I don't necessarily think it fits my goal.
I think dumbbells are also stable.
Yeah.
Not
I
stable.
mean, it really
Compound.
depends on your body because everyone's body's different. Everyone's muscles react to different ways. You guys know the famous bodybuilder Jay Cutler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said in the video that he rarely did bench press. He said because he didn't want to risk injury or risk a tear. So what he did is he either did a majority of his chest workouts with either dumbbells or even Smith machine bench press. But he could still hit 405 on a regular bench press for 14 reps. So he
Big
still got
guys.
strong and he still got a big chest out of it. But like I said before, I think it's everyone's different. Everyone's different muscle groups. Everyone has different goals in life, But you find whatever works for you. For me, I like doing the regular bench press. That really helps me.
Yeah.
I feel it more in my chest. A lot of times, some people like doing dumbbell chest press because it's safer. A lot of times, people prefer doing Smith machine because it's also the safest, But it really all depends on everyone.
Question.
Everyone. Yep.
So Dula brought this up. Is doing dumbbell bench press still a compound lift?
Yeah. Because you're still hitting multiple muscles at the same time. You're
Okay.
doing your tricep, your chest, shoulders.
Honestly, with your definition, I feel like everything is a compound lift.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
a
dude.
little
I haven't
confused.
taken the account.
That's why
I guess
there's a
most of
lot.
my lifts are compounds, realistically.
I think anything that is a press motion
It's
and a pull
automatically-
motion with heavy weights
automatically,
is
yeah.
automatically
Mhm.
compound lift.
Jeez. Well, I want to get into. I think this is what I was most excited for. I want to debunk the myths on the top three
The
in
miss.
terms of forms. I mean, on social media, we've all heard how the right way to do a bench, how the right way to do a squat, right way to deadlift, and it's at a certain point with such different answers. What the fuck do you believe anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I kind of want you to tell me, Andreas, what you believe. And I think, out of anyone, Probably very credible.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe.
I have an idea. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry, Georgian. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Georgian.
I mean, yeah, no, even I get confused sometimes when I see, like, I go on TikTok and I see these guys talking about perfect forms, and then another dude's contradicting the other form, and I'm there just like, well, basically, you just want 3 points of contact on the bench. You just want your glutes, you want your shoulder blades, and you also want your arms.
Yeah.
And basically, just what you want to do is bring your legs as far in as you can. You want to flex that back. That way, it helps your back supports your shoulders. You don't want a flat back when it comes to benching, because a flat back, you can actually pinch a nerve in your shoulders from benching. And what you do when you flex your back, it helps actually take a lot of the stress from the benching, and it helps put on your chest. It helps put it on your back as well. That's why I said, like, you also hit your back too. Sometimes I feel my back a little bit when I'm bench pressing. And what you basically want to do is you don't want to slam the bar in your chest. You want to kind of just like a slight little tap and everything. Because a lot of times, unless you have like a big gut, because a lot of powerlifters, sometimes they use that gut to help launch it off. But if you don't have a big gut, you just want to slightly just tap it up. You don't want to slam on it because you actually break your sternum. It happened to my powerlifting coach too. He said you don't want to slam it because he was trying to get 315. He slammed his chest. He slammed the bar. He still got it, but he ended up breaking his sternum because of it. So
how long did that take to heal? Because if it looks like
6
it's a
weeks,
big...
I think he told me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Seems like a way more dangerous injury than just 6 weeks.
What the fuck, man? Really? That's it?
Well, I mean, that's what he told me. I mean, I'm pretty sure he just got bored and wanted to go work out again. So
Oh, yeah.
he probably wasn't fully
And I think
recovered.
you told stories about that guy, right?
Yeah,
He
no,
was a crazy
yeah,
guy?
yeah, he,
Like, really passionate and stuff?
yeah, like he literally had to get emergency surgery, and he told his buddy after the surgery to go pick him up from the gym, or to go pick him up to go to the gym. So yeah, that's what he told me. So you kind of just want like a little tap and everything. You don't want your elbows flared out because you can also injured. That's also injury prone like that. You want your elbows in, because it helps also support with your triceps too, and your triceps get activated. When you first start to bench press, just have like a straight bar movement, just up and down straight. But once you get more advanced, once you get more technique in, you kind of want to like a little curve. And that's how you activate your triceps too and everything.
Well, that's also in part because the chest fibers, that's how it lines up.
Exactly.
It's not straight.
Yeah.
That's the biggest misconception.
And no flaring the elbows, of course.
Yeah, no, you want a nice, like, kind of like a little bit of a like 45-degree angle type. Yeah.
Because that's
Question
what fucked up my bench.
about that. I mean, the bar is straight, and you kind of just pick it up like this. When you say the elbows flared out, I mean, I don't flare my elbows out, but where do you think? I never think about it.
So a lot of
It's
times,
like, would you say bringing it closer in will help not flare it? Or like, how does that work? Because you can't automatically turn your elbow like this, unless I'm mistaken.
Yes, you can.
I don't know, can you?
Yeah, you can.
because like, a lot of times, sometimes when people bench, like their elbows go like this when they're benching, and you don't want that.
Like that bad, really?
Yeah,
So you
sometimes.
say
shit.
that's probably because their head is right next to the bar? Like, the top of the head, not, I mean, I typically do eye to eye. Or what is
Maybe.
it? What is it?
I mean, it could be just like beginner movements. You know, they don't know how to actually like take up the weight. Sometimes they don't know how to do it with their elbows or like anything. Like I said, it could be because they're not flexing their back. Could be various different reasons because of it. Like, to help mitigate that, just basically bring the bar up. Kind of like, it's kind of hard to explain without a bench.
Twist that dick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Twist
like,
He said
just
dick?
twist it.
Twist that dick? Is that what I heard also?
That is what I heard as well. Yeah.
He was like, am I the only one hearing this? And then he looked at it. Oh yeah, I also heard that.
I mean, he's right. Twist
So
it.
the bar, right? It's like this. When you grab onto it, your arm can't just twist like that because then you would have to twist the bar. So like this, but then when you lift it off, you can kind of like position your arms because the more you straighten it, the more it tilts. Kind of, the more it's like this. You can't just turn your hands like this. So if you straighten up your arms, then it kind of like twists. So is that what you meant?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain without a bench there and everything. But like, you know, sometimes, like I said, like if you help flex your back, it kind of helps put your arms in a position that will prevent it from flaring. A lot of times it could be from like the grip how narrow grip is, how wide grip is. You know, a lot of times people, it really depends. Like if you're tricep dominant, if you're chest dominant. You know, sometimes people, if they're like tricep dominant, they have like a wide grip. It can also help flare it out. Sometimes if people are more chest dominant, they have a closer grip. That could also be the cause of it too. Could be just many different reasons, or it's just how the person is. You know.
Is it mostly chest and triceps? Is it not like shoulder?
No, shoulders.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah?
His shoulders a lot too.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned this in the beginning, but you said bringing your legs as close up, and I understand why and everything, but I was hoping you can teach the audience exactly the science behind it, because you don't want to just do something because someone told you so. You want to do something because you understand why.
Yeah, good thing he asked that, because I actually know people that prefer not bringing their legs inside and keeping them out there, because that's how they feel stronger.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, because a lot of times what people usually forget about benching is that a lot of your strength actually comes from your legs too. Because you might hear this, there also is a leg drive that comes through benching. So when you bring in your legs far in, one, you're creating that arch in your back. And that arch helps actually limit the distance. It helps like decrease the range of motion you have from the bench, from like your bar to your chest to once you re-rack and everything. And a lot of times what you do is when you bring your legs far back in, you're actually able to utilize your legs much more with that leg drive. So once you bring the bar up, you flex your back, everything is set. Flex your glutes. It might help, it might sound ridiculous, but also helps you keep stable too, because it helps everything in place. Because even if you have like the flex back and everything, your legs, sometimes, a lot of times when they hit their chest, they go flat back, and then once they press up, they go back. So that kind of helps your body help remain stable. And you kind of want to, like, once you hit the bar, kind of flex your butt and launch up. You see how like my legs are like that?
Yeah.
It'll help. Your butt won't come off the bench. And there's also a breathing technique that comes along with benching. So with everything, there's always a breathing technique. So when you come with the bench, you take that deep breath. You hit the bar, and as soon as you hit the bar, at the same time as you're pressing, you blow out. That breath actually helps you push that bar forward.
Oh.
Yeah, because I've been
having... Your lungs expanding and stuff?
Yeah, because, it's kind of like, that breath also helps, like a spring, too. You're just like...
Kind of momentum.
It actually, I've been having
transferring the
trouble.
energy into the muscles.
Yeah, I've been having trouble with it, but I notice a huge difference when I'm benching, when I hold it, and then when I blow it out at the same time. I actually see the weight. It actually has been helping me increase in my weight on my bench pressing a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been being able to progress more than I have in my bench press than I had in the past because of it.
Yeah. And to be honest, the only way to actually activate your back is to bring your legs closer to your, behind the bench. Because if your feet are out, there's no way you're flexing the back. You just can't. I don't know. That's the science behind it.
Yeah, no. Because a lot of your power comes from your legs, believe it or not, for the bench press, too. A lot of people always miss that. Sometimes they have their legs far out here, but you're like, with that leg drive, you can actually increase your benching by a lot. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to deadlift.
Deadlift.
So you just explained benching, like all those little details that matter. Let's go into deadlifts and then squats with those little details that are very important. Because people make mistakes on those and then get injured.
Before you even tell us, I want to hear your opinion. Is deadlift the largest risk to reward lift there is?
Yeah, it's
definitely the most controversial.
Yeah, because even there was a strongman. I forget his name. He was with Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall. He even said himself that he doesn't do deadlifts because he says the risk to reward ratio is so bad and everything. Because it is true that even one simple misstep with a deadlift, Ed, you could basically get you could pull your back, you could do permanent damage and everything. But there is
Do you personally?
A power lifter
Yeah,
doesn't deadlift?
Huh?
A power lifter?
Strongman, yeah.
A strongman even stronger.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, there's a lot of...
So that means he doesn't compete in...
Yeah, he doesn't do deadlift, but there's a lot of influence. I also say that deadlift, the risk to reward ratio is kind of really bad too with it. But I mean,
But don't you think it helps with the competition that they go to do this stuff there? A lot of lifting and even throwing?
I mean, they can still...
Has he been winning a lot of tournaments?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I mean,
impressive.
there's also other side exercise you could do besides deadlifting too. You could do hex bar deadlifts, which is more safer.
A what?
Hex bar deadlifts.
Hex bar deadlifts. What is that?
So,
Yeah.
oh no, not the trap
Oh, is that the trap?
Yeah, the trap bar.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
you can do
okay,
that.
okay,
It's
okay.
called, I call it the hex bar because
Yeah, yeah.
it's like a hex.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can do that. It's a lot safer, less strain on your lower back and
I've
more on
tried
your
that, yeah.
quads. You could do rack deadlifts with the less range of motion that you have and everything. Now you could do rows and everything. That helps too. But like, there's very other different exercises you do besides deadlifting if you want to.
Since there is such a high risk reward, how do we stay on this reward side? Tell us. How do I not get this risk?
All right, one, don't ego lift
Yeah, yeah.
when it comes to deadlifting. Do not sacrifice
never.
technique. Do not sacrifice
never.
technique for weight. Never do that. Two, there's always a form with deadlifting. You don't want to. There's a thing called you don't squat your deadlift and don't deadlift your squat. So the thing is like squat is deadlift is his own kind of unique form that you do. It's very simple, but it's also the most thing that one little mishap and you can also mess it up. So you kind of want to basically how I say you kind of want to it's kind of sitting down, how we are right now. How you see my body is and everything.
Okay.
So you kind of like that. You don't want your hips to drop any lower than you do.
Okay.
It basically just kind of lift. If you want to do this too, it might actually help with deadlifting and everything. So grab a seat, sit down like this. You want your arms and shoulders parallel to the ground.
Okay.
This is for conventional deadlift.
Okay.
So basically, and you just grab it like that. You see my back is straight and everything.
Yeah.
And you see my hips are not formed like this, and just lift up like that. You don't want even though deadlift is like a back exercise, you don't want to use your back at all. Use all legs and everything.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's kind of how it can help simplify things with a deadlift too. Also, breathing is very important too. I recommend wearing a belt for deadlifts. So that
I've had plenty of times where I had shortness of breath.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think that.
Yeah. So
You weren't wearing a belt?
No, breath. I would just want to breathe and then after.
yeah. So there's a breathing technique that one of the trainers at our gym actually taught me and everything. That actually helped me a lot.
Sam?
Yeah.
Shout out to Sam.
Shout out to Sam.
Go.
Yeah, so right before
By the
you
way,
go.
he has one of the fattest asses I know. I am not gay.
So right before you come up to the bar, when you put on your belt, you want to take a huge breath. And what you want to do is you want to try to push your belt with your stomach. You want to try to get that belt off of you with your stomach. A lot of times when people are bracing, sometimes all they do is they puff up their chest. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You breathe through your diaphragm and push out that gut. So you see how that gut's forming right there?
Yeah.
That's what you want. And you want that gut to push against the belt. Because a lot of times, the belt doesn't actually straighten your back. What it does is your abdominals are pushing against the belt. That helps. So what you do is once you come up to the bar, you take that deep breath. You grab to the bar, you pull some slack, and then you lift. And as soon as you get up, you let it out. Because or not, you're going to pass out.
Yeah.
And then you breathe it again. And you push your abs against that belt. And what it does kind of creates like a spring. So then once you go down and you tap, it should shoot straight up and everything. And you breathe it out
And there's
again.
no space in between whatsoever. That's what keeps the belt so
and it
high
helps
on
keep
your
your
waist.
back still, and it helps you keep in good form and everything.
Yeah.
So that you don't mess it up or you don't round your back.
Yeah. Dude, it's so interesting how you talk about this gut thing. Is that why usually powerlifters or strongmans, they don't have abs, instead they just have a pelvic
Yeah,
instead?
because what it does, the
you
deadlifting actually thickens your waist and everything. And what your body's doing is creating support and everything. When you're deadlifting, it actually increases your waist size.
How?
Because it's trying to provide the support and everything to help lift up the weight and everything. That's why a lot of powerlifters, strongmen, don't really have abs, but they have thick bellies and everything, because those bellies are actually helping support their spine and everything. It's kind of like more of a support system for your spine.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's actually fascinating.
Yeah.
That is wild, dude.
I was always wondering why they're never jacked.
I would actually think that your waist becomes smaller from wearing a belt for so long and so many times, because it compresses all the blood flow and stuff.
I mean, unless you're wearing it for 24 hours a day, then it does.
Yeah, but if you work out for a long time and you're doing the weights and stuff, I would think that it would still compress your waist and make it small at least in some period of time.
Yeah, but I mean, like I
Not
said,
really fast,
yeah.
but yeah. I've actually
Yeah.
seen people just wear a belt without even doing anything that
Yeah, I don't know
requires
why.
wearing
I
a
don't know why
belt
they do
just
that.
to get their waist smaller.
Nah,
and-
don't do that. Don't do that. I don't know why. Unless like
And
you
really
sprain your
tight,
back,
too.
unless you like sprain your back or like you have a back injury, then I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But like, no, if you're doing that and you're doing curls, I'm like, why?
Dude, I've heard people, the reason why they do it because, the aesthetic side of having wide back and small waist and then big legs, that's why people do that so they can compress the waist, so that way their waist looks small, their back looks wide, and their legs look wider too. For aesthetics, people do that. And like I said, that's a really sacrifice of your health for the looks.
Yeah, nah.
Which is
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if
stupid.
people actually do that. Like people go through
Don't be
extremes.
surprised if humans do anything.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what
not
I've
saying.
learned in life.
Yeah, nah.
Squats. I think squats
Yeah.
are very important. With lower back, I want you to get to that.
I
'cause,
think it's the
spoke-
most
yeah.
important in terms of doing the right form.
Yeah.
To do.
Oh, no.
Because,
Deadlift
dude,
is the most important.
like-
I would say squats because your knees in play. I think the two worst things you can possibly injure is your back and your knees.
Yeah, maybe,
Personally.
but deadlift is like, you fuck up one little thing, obviously that applies for
I think
the
squat is
others
more
too,
dangerous
but
than
it's easier
deadlift.
to
You
fuck
can
up.
argue against
Squat.
it, but I don't know.
I'm
That's
not
just
on
what I
deadlift.
think. I think squats is more dangerous than
Let's ask the
deadlifting.
professional.
You can argue with me,
Let's
but
ask the professional if you were to say.
squats.
I do think squats are more dangerous
But the
because the
question
weight's on your
wasn't-
back
that
and
wasn't-
everything.
The question wasn't what was more dangerous. It was what's easier to fuck up.
That was not the question.
Yeah, it was.
I
That's
said
it.
what?
You
Well-
said squat's the easiest to fuck up.
No.
It is kind of personal
Bullshit,
too,
but-
Did
but
I say that?
what?
Did I say
What?
easiest to fuck up?
I don't think so.
I think
What did you-
squat.
Ah,
I said
you're getting-
squats.
Which one is
worst.
more dangerous? This is the
worst
question
to
we.
fuck up
the worst of,
in terms of
The question I personally asked was
misunderstood, yeah.
which one is more dangerous.
Yeah, no.
I think squats is.
Yeah, because deadlift, like, even if you can't get it off, the bar is just there. Like, even if you can't get the weight up, the bar is still going to be there. Even if you drop the weight, it's, like, not that far of a distance, but a squat is all on your back. Sometimes you can lean forward, sometimes you go back. And even your spotter could get hurt, too. Like,
That happened to
Did
me.
you hear of the influencer recently?
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's very sad. There was an influencer that died squatting.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
Died oh shit, I take back what I said. Squat's the most dangerous. Really?
Do you know what happened? I forget what happened.
I mean, I think, like, I don't know.
What's
I saw
his
the
name?
video. He basically was squatting and he got low and all of a sudden, like, he couldn't get up and then they tried to, like, get the bar off or something and
It got on his neck. Right?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
that's
it
that.
some kind of pressure point on his neck and then some kind of nerve just?
I
Like,
think so. I'm not sure because, like, it did look like the bar, like, just somehow went on his neck.
ooh.
Because when he was trying to go down on the squat, like, the weight, I think all the weight, like, transferred to his neck and
There's
maybe
a video of it?
Huh? Yeah, there's a video of it. I mean, I don't know if that's the actual video.
How
I
can
think
that
so,
happen?
but
How can you just have? I mean, how
I
can the
know
weight
it's
just
a
roll
neck-
off
I
to
know
your
it's a
neck?
neck thing. I know
probably
it's a
because when he
neck thing.
squatted, he probably leaned forward and then the weight probably went forward too. Or
Yeah,
he didn't
I mean,
place it correctly.
He probably went this way and the
Yeah.
it went on.
How much was he squatting? A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I think,
You think he was too
3 or
heavy
4
for him?
plates, 3 or 4 plates. That's
Yeah.
what I heard.
I mean, I don't know, probably, but like, I think it's where the weight was, the
Let me-
weight
let me
placement
search
was.
this
I
up.
think that's kind of what happened to him.
Who was the
Dude, it
influencer?
sucks.
What
To go
happened, just to clarify, Justin Vicky, 33 years old, rest in peace. He attempted to lift and broke his neck at a gym in Bali.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
He had to
Despite
break his neck
emergency
in order to
treatment,
die.
he couldn't
Yeah.
be saved. I can't find reason of death. but
So
I
did
don't
he
even
fall
wanna see.
forward with? How else would
There's
he
a-
break the neck?
There was a
I don't-
video.
I don't-
Yeah, we're gonna put
Here,
the video in the
here.
description if you
No,
find
no,
it.
no. That's not
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
there's this one I saw.
Probably the video's probably gonna
Oh, yeah.
take it down. Just
Yeah,
search it
we're
for
right
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
you
what
see.
happened.
So you want to come for a
It's
second?
always good to learn how to
Ay,
bail.
fuck.
It's always good how to
That's
bail.
wild, dude.
Yeah, it looks like 210 kilos.
Yo, you always, no matter what, have to drop it fucking back, right?
Yeah, always drop it back.
Yeah, for video purposes,
And that's why you have.
we're not going to show it, of course, but
I'm pretty sure you can search it up for yourself if you want to see it.
how do we prevent that?
So one, have a spotter. Two, have safety bars.
Oh,
Like, I don't know why he didn't have safety bars. When you were doing the safety bars, you always want to do it like at least 2 inches from when you actually go down and squat. So that way, like, in case you can't get it up, you just launch it back and it's always, you never want to go forward with the squats. You always want to launch it back and everything. Like, and even tell your spotter, like, if you can't get it up, if you both can't, just be like, hey, look out, and then just like launch it back and everything. You never want to go forward because something like this could actually happen. So, and also have safety bars too. Like, I recommend having safety bars because if you can't get it up, just literally let it drop and then you're good to go.
Even if it's 135, I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm not doing that much weight. Have the safety bars. Agree?
No, always do safety bars.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why people.
What if
like,
your knee fucking gives up and you never thought it would, or something like that, and you know you don't have safety bars?
Yeah, it's always good to learn how to like bail out too. Like when you're going down, you can't get it back up. Basically, just like flex your back, throw the bar back and everything, or just let it drop, and then just keep going.
Yeah.
It happened to me a couple times too. And always have the safety bars. I recommend this, having safety bars, and it'll reduce the risk of injury and also serious injury like that as well. And also just help you and your spotter out too if you guys can't get the weight up. Like,
Remember when I was spotting you?
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
to throw the weight back.
Form real quick.
form?
I
Yeah,
don't
so-
think you mentioned, unless I'm mistaken.
What?
Did you say something about form? Nothing.
Oh yeah, tell us the breathing and stuff. You taught me that too.
Yeah, so breathing with the squat, you kind of want to pretend like you're in a pool. So basically, you have the weight up and everything. So right before you go to squat, like I said, same with the deadlift, you take that deep breath in and you push that gut out, and it'll push it against your belt, and it'll also help keep everything stable. It's kind of like a balloon. When the balloon is inflated, it's nice and firm and everything. But when the balloon's deflated, it's all wrinkly and you can't really support much on it. So it's kind of like pretend like that. So once you're the bars coming up, and the thing is, like, a lot of like what people do, what I see is like, when you get the weight up, I understand the weight is completely uncomfortable. It even is for me. It will never be comfortable. Like, a lot of times what people do is, like, sometimes they lift up and the weight's still moving on their back and they decide to squat with that weight. Don't do it. It's a lot of increase of injury. Your body's working more energy to try to stabilize that weight.
And using different muscles.
Yeah. And try to just take like a couple seconds, wait till the weight relax on your back. That way it's all nice and stable and there's like no movement and your body's not going to have to expend a lot of energy to try to stabilize that weight either. So always make sure your feet are nice and parallel to because sometimes, like, I see a lot of people, their feet, they're like one foot's off, the other foot's another. That could put a lot of weight on one foot, and that can actually cause, like, injuries and everything to your knees, your hamstring, quads. So going back to, like, pretending you're in a pool, so make sure you're in a pool. You're bracing. You hold that breath, like in the pool. You go down, and you come back up, and you breathe out. You exhale.
Yeah.
You don't want to exhale while you're going up, because a lot of times, like I said, how like it pretends a balloon.
Yeah.
Once your body starts deflating, your body
less
starts to
strength.
become soft and everything,
Mhm.
and now it's not as stable. And that's why a lot of times I see when people let go of their breath when they're squatting, that's when they usually fail at the lift.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people are holding, even if they're about to pass out, they're still able to get that weight up because their body's nice and firm and everything.
Yeah.
So it's always important to try to remain holding that breath until you get up, and it's also important to breathe once you get up there, because you don't want to pass out and everything. So always like kind of basically just pretend like you're in a pool when you're squatting. You hold your breath until you go down, until you come back up again.
Did I have to ask you, have you ever fainted or something? Because when I see you do like compound lifts and stuff, you're like red and your eyes are just fucking popping out.
No,
Yeah,
luckily I
on his
haven't.
head.
Well, I almost have a couple times from squatting and deadlifting where like I put the weight back up and all of a sudden everything goes black like a tunnel and then comes back and I'm just like...
So you fainted.
No, like I didn't fall to the ground, but like it's just like everything's going black
You were there.
and then it just comes back. I'm just like... Whew.
Yeah.
That was a
That's,
close one.
that's literally death's door right
Yeah,
there. Bro.
like,
that's
nah.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
it happens a couple times like that too.
Are you more likely to faint when you go down and you breathe out, like in the motion, rather than like coming up with holding the breath?
I think you're
So
more...
that way it's not more dangerous.
I mean...
Either way, you're
Yeah,
gonna
either
faint.
way, like sometimes. But a lot of times when people, when they faint, it's when they usually come up, because sometimes they forget to breathe.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's also important once you get up, you
yeah.
regain that breath. Nice, slow, controlled breathes, and then you hold it back in, and you go back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to be those guys just like, and then you just collapse forward.
And I've seen you when you do reps and stuff, you wait like maybe 2-3 seconds after you come up, to kind of get that breathing.
Yeah, because I probably would pass out. I actually
Yeah.
just like.
I've seen people do a couple of reps when they
Yeah, unless I'm doing like lightweight or something, but if I'm going heavyweight, then I usually come up, take like a good couple seconds, and then go back down again.
Okay.
So that way I don't like faint or lose consciousness or anything.
Interesting.
Dude, that was some helpful information. We'll
Yeah.
definitely get into that.
If you didn't find something here, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, I
As
mean, like,
Alex Mosey puts it, definition of learning is not just hearing shit, but actually applying it.
Yep.
So if you don't apply anything he said today, you didn't learn shit. That's the biggest message I can tell anyone.
That's why
I
quote of the
really
day,
saw
something
that
like
learning.
that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Let's do it.
And
Quote
you
of
know
the
how it
day?
is, Georgie, our guest. Always, we like
I think
to give
people already
him
know
the
it's
honor.
Andreas.
yeah.
Or shall we do Andreas as well? Maybe he can
Shut the fuck up, everything. This one right here.
Alright, the quote of the day. Some lessons have to be experienced before they can be understood. Michael
Batnick.
Batnick. Okay,
was
I didn't
like,
know it was
oh.
Botnick or Batnick.
I thought that was Botnick.
Yeah.
Nick.
The code speaks for itself. I
Yeah.
mean, experience is the best teacher for a reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Unfortunately, some of us have experienced some mistakes with compound lifts. Even so, myself, a little bit.
I think all of us have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like-
how we understood. Hopefully, it doesn't have to be that way, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just the case, and people are stubborn. I mean, that's probably the biggest lesson from that: is don't be stubborn and really try to always learn anything.
That's why we tell you guys, and Josh just said it too. It's usually the experience. You don't just listen to us. You hear us out, and then you learn
Apply
it from
it.
your experience.
Yeah,
Apply it
apply it
in your life and see if it works for you. It's different for everybody.
No, exactly. Yeah, there's thousands of techniques out there. There's going to be thousands of guys going to tell you
Yeah.
different things. Like, especially nowadays, since everyone's so-called being fitness experts. But, take what they, if you see, like, maybe if it's something that you're interested in, maybe try to take some from every type of, like, expert and
Yep.
apply it to you to see if it works. If it doesn't, just try something else to see what actually fits your body and what you feel like is going to progress more.
I was just gonna
Well
say that,
said.
take
Very
a little
well
bit of
said.
from one person, a little bit from the other, and then make up your conclusions.
Yeah.
Because I actually learned a lot from some of these guys. They're like, hey, do this. I'm like, oh, okay, I might try that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out, then,
Yeah, I think it's best to always put a little twist
Yeah.
on it, your own twist on it.
Yeah, buddy.
Shout out, Sadula, Sadila,
Keep going, boys.
heart
Ricky
emoji with heart emoji.
with a heart emoji.
Ricky Aquari.
Ricky Aquari on Insta.
Yeah, I mean,
Appreciate
That is-
the comment.
yeah.
Guys, once again, you want to get a shout out, just comment down below. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about, everything.
We appreciate comments like that,
Don't forget
guys.
to like
Yeah.
and subscribe for more. And yeah, we're serious about the commenting. I mean, we love hearing comments from you guys, even if it's something like
Like,
this.
just keep
even if
going,
it's
boys. Like,
negative,
that gives
we
us
just- yeah.
inspiration on
Yeah, of
keep
course.
going and somebody believing in us, especially you guys, because we do this for you guys too.
always more than welcome to contact him for questions as well, right?
I don't
Oh
mind.
yeah, Andreas.
Oh,
yeah.
Andre.
And with that
Don't know
being
how to butcher
said,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the line? Wait, do you remember the line? What we end off with? 4 words.
Think big.
Think big. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Grow big.
Think
Grow
big.
big.
Grow big.
Grow
Think
big.
big, grow big. All right.
Have a good one.